the more I'm making these videos, the more it's starting to feel as if they're not super professional. They're more laid-back videos I'm making that I'm not editing and putting a ton of effort into like I have in other things in the past. So maybe if you just want to look at it as I'm a student like you, I'm one of your classmates, and we're just having a conversation. And right now the conversation is the main reason why I think people struggle with math. And I'm also drinking wine on the side, so I guess we're all on a school field and we're having a picnic with wine and we're talking about math. So think of a workout schedule that is 50 minutes 5 times a week. And you start to feel good in the routine. Your body starts to build lean muscle mass, and workouts slowly become more easy with consistent results. Now imagine you stop and only work out once a week. The lean muscle mass will not have the same result that it did when you worked out 5 times in a week. Now imagine you're about to take the test that has math formulas in it. And you're about to take the ready exam, and you have 4 domains to study. There's medical terminology, medical rationale, basic nutrition understanding, food science theory, management objectives, as well as some food service equations that you may not have remembered. The problem? Well, you haven't studied the formulas enough to remember them. Or you've studied them once, but you haven't practiced the formula enough to understand it. Like working out, consistency is what keeps you in shape. It's just like math. Unless you are taking a math test, typically people forget formulas because they haven't studied it enough and they don't remember the formula. And that's why I think people have issues. In most teachings, a classroom is responsible for several equations. It's not just one equation to remember. Remember I said we're drinking wine? Yeah, I'm taking a sip. I'm drinking a sweet white wine. Alright, where was I at? Oh yeah. In clinical work, we regularly calculate tube feed formulas. At the beginning, it's hard, but at the end, we know the formulas without a second guess. But with food service formulas, we aren't generally working out at a restaurant as an executive chef who regularly calculates these formulas and predicts sales and inventory needs. The problem is that we regularly study clinical, management, and food safety. Excuse me, that's what I meant to say. The problem is that we regularly study clinical, management, and food safety, but we neglect math equations. So to fix this, we have to be regularly doing math equations, especially if you're a slower learner like myself who needs repetition. Or a routine. What I've tried to do in my new study schedule is to take 5 to 20 minutes each study day to focus on math equations. They can be in domain 3 or 4, just as long as it's a math equation and it's something that I'm not confident in. Some formulas like depreciation value come natural to me, but as purchase costs and edible portion costs have been very challenging. And to me, studying it all in 1 hour makes it super difficult to remember, and it results in me being brain fried after learning 5 to 6 different formulas. So the tip that I could use, and that may make it easier for you, is to introduce 2 to 4 equations per study day. And maybe all that week, study only those 2 to 4 equations on days you study. This provides repetition. The next week, introduce 2 to 4 new equations, and do practice examples for the rest of the study days on that week. Continue the pattern leading up to the days of the test. So far, it's been helping me. I've spent about 2.5 weeks studying. I'm calling it my March Math Madness. And I'm just now in April, but I've filmed a lot of videos on math, and that's been from doing about 2 to 4 equations per day, and some weeks more than 4 equations, but not many. So when I was typing this up, today my study schedule was reviewing 100 of the Eat Right Prep flashcards, and then reviewing how to calculate popularity index, and average check. So on the next study day, I reviewed 2 new equations. Then I reviewed those 4 equations for the rest of the study week.